All right, it is what 5:09 in the morning on December 3rd, 2021, which means it is Endwalker release day, and we have already made several of what I'm sure will be many, many poor decisions today. So far, we have gone live before getting into the game. That was a mistake. We chugged most of this energy drink before that. That was a mistake. We have done this all in the wrong order, but let's continue to make several wrong mistakes because I'm pretty sure much of this day is going to be MSQ, excitement, and crying. So, let's see if we can get to the end of an 11-year journey. Where are we at? I'm sure I'm not going to realize until the first battle that my hotbars are not good anymore either. Timor Jonah. Am I enjoying things so far? I don't know. I've been here for about 30 seconds. I've enjoyed the first several years. But so far I've enjoyed a lot of Error 2002 is what I've enjoyed today. Anybody saying anything different around here? No, same stuff as before. I'm usually not the kind of person who reads every single piece of dialogue that comes up as much as kind of summarizes what I see. If that's a mistake, let me know. Everybody around here seems to be right where we left them. So, let's get this train wreck a rolling. Review. Towers, Telephori. Recreation of the final days. This is a very basically laid out. So when we last talked, this is what was going on. In case you forgot, it was a few months ago. Van Daniel's leading the Telephori. Or I think we pronounce it Telephoroi now. Nerva was stirring up shit in Garlemald, and now everything seems to have gone pretty quiet. And the last we left off with them, we were trying to figure out if they had gone silent because they had finally been tempered or because they had gone underground and we were going to meet up with them later. Knowing how stories are told, I'm going to guess the latter. But you never know. Oh, and just in time for our review session. Our boat is here after months of waiting. Excellent. Triumphant off to the docks music. Hello? Everybody left. Are they all coming? Wow, it's true. Ain't nobody heard. So it looks like if we put together kind of the clues that we had before, we knew that we were either going to go to Charleon first or Thavnair first. So either it was going to be an emergency in Thavnair, and then Charleon, or Charleon an emergency in Thavnair. It looks like it's going to be the latter. Ah. Oh, 1.0 flashbacks.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louisoix of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Charlian, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
Don't worry, Tataru, I've still got your blood pearl charm.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
What? Voices?
Hori! Coulternay! What bring...
Ooh.
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return.
Bringing up the B team.
We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We set the sail! All aboard for Charlian!
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
talking to me from the Azem crystal or the live stream, bro?
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
I'm uncomfortable. There was someone who started in Limsa and has always been Laments, and it's fun to leave from there too. Whoa, what?
Here. Feel. Think.
Oh my god, even the freaking emotes are the same. This is the 1.0 intro.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser.
Limsa Laments a cannon.
Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
Anachronistic female Rogadine. Appreciated. Representation.
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck?
No
Charlie
Kakiran,
should be coming
though.
into view at any moment.
I'm going to assume that they didn't forget him and that he's just wandering around sniffing luggage. Oh. Star shower. Ishtola up top. Oh.
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Wow, they let you say that right at the beginning? Cruel. Alright. If you've been following anything I've said for any amount of time, you know that probably around 2015, I came up with a list of 4 very vague things that I was willing to put my faith in for the sheer fun of it. One of them is Crystal Mom loves you and tried her best. So if that ship goes down, I'm going down with it.
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Eidolon has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world. And I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. the greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
As you can probably tell, I'm going to do my best not to talk too much over cutscenes, not ruin the vibes, not accidentally talk over people. But I can't help a little commentary here and there.
Sharlian, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Okay, I appear to be in control of who says what at what time now. So, commentary break. First off, the pacing seems really good so far. We had like our kind of review session, and it felt like it would take a little while to build up, but breaking into that like 1.0 homage was really unexpected. I think that hit me pretty hard emotionally. And then that did a really good job bridging kind of old and new. Because as we're looking at the 1.0 content alongside the 6.0 content, it actually feels like maybe all of this was planned all along. Almost, kind of. It feels a lot more natural than I thought it would coming into it. So that's really exciting. Why is Emmett Silk so gleefully talking about, like, facts about Charleon? Okay, off we go.
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Charleon all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Charleon only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
Ah, bureaucracy. Maybe you were founded by ancients.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Charleon's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Been pronouncing that word wrong the entire time. Not Baldesian. Whoops.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Alphino Leveilleur.
Dad told you not to use his name.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
Anonymoose. Never really thought about it.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea. And it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter. And you, sir?
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
He never really thought about it either.
If you'll allow me... My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
We made it. Okay. Somewhere in there, like maybe 10 minutes ago, I was going to clarify some stuff I was saying about Crystal Mom there, but now it feels like it was 10 miles ago. So let's just suffice to say that while I am hashtag Team Heidelin, Crystal Mom loves you and tried her best only extends about that far. I have serious doubts about her ability to survive this story. I don't think it absolves her from having made mistakes or bad calls in the past or difficult decisions. It's literally just Crystal Mom loved you and tried her best. Have I noticed the similarities with the Crystarium? So he did that on purpose. Fascinating. Just checking real quick. Does that mean I'm gonna need to, yeah. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I imagine we'll be doing most of them automatically, but just in case, let's go get the biggie. I think I'm forever going to associate this Aetheryte with the spiral theories in the lead up to launch, because I didn't think the abstract statue at the end of Academia Uniter was terribly strong proof that, you know, like, spirals exist in two places, ergo connection. Aetheryte kind of does look like that statue, though. Horse chestnut weapon. Okay, that's all still the same. Being given canon permission to wander around the city before continuing the MSQ. Oh, or if they all wander away, we may be being given canon obligation to explore the city before continuing the MSQ. Okay, so everybody wandered away, but now there's another quest. And I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to wander away with them and take the opportunity to explore the city like the quest said, or if like I would do that and then I'd come back and try to talk to them and then they make me do it again. But I guess we can risk it. Go for a quick wander about. I remember as Idleshire developed, I was a little wistful that what was clearly this aesthetic was less and less in each bit of it as it became kind of its own thing. And now that we have this, I think I feel a little bit better about that. I did like seeing all the gobby stuff come in though. Houses. Journey's End. That's an interesting name for an area. One thing you'll notice about me when I play any game really is I open maps entirely far too much. I'm gonna need to work on that as we go. Hello, who are you? What do you do? Oh, the intellectual horizon broadening fountain. Okay, made it to our shard. Or, Fort Tom Manor away from Fort Tom Manor. Okay, one side down, cross over to the other side. Already mentioning Labyrinthos, eh? Nothing too specific. The vast tapestry of stars in the skies above are teeming with life, and I shall prove it if it's the last thing I do. I'll tell you what, your country doesn't throw me out, we'll talk later. Oh. Aetheryte shop. Oh, this looks to be a quest point. So, yeah, I guess we are going to each of these one step at a time. Maybe I should go back and talk to our leads here before I end up doing all this twice. Hunt stuff, leave stuff. Alright, let's get on with it. Oh, what? The lower tour system, essentially. Let's see if I can get him out of the crowd there. Okay, so you walk slow enough. And then you can talk to him along the way. And then you can hit conversation points. Dusting. Whoa. Neat. Huh. So while Thaliak is kind of the patron deity of the city, unlike, say, Ishgard, people are kind of free to worship as they will, which can include multiple gods. To the next. Oh, we only had the one conversation point for now? Or what happens if I drag them somewhere else? Any other ones up here? Okay. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. People at the studio who could no longer stomach the school's insipid meals quit and came here to build this place, and we have improved it from insipid to bland. The sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charleon, which again, bland. Yeah. So you tune to the ether and visit the place that makes them. We were pulling ahead a little bit. Got our main shop area, the Agora. Oh, that's interesting. I never really thought about it like that. The Thaliak being a deity of water is partly connected to the flood which precipitated the birth of the nation. I wonder how long that's been a part of the lore. I'm actually going to check what Graha said again because something caught my eye there. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters were rather simple. I was about to say, I remember some of it was not rustic. I'll give Twitter one thing. The architecture is not entirely dissimilar from the Amarai dungeon. So even if it doesn't turn out to be true, it's not the craziest theory. There would have been a lot of coincidences along the way if there doesn't turn out to be any connection at all between the ancients and Charleon. One thing I'm prone to doing is dialing into one task and forgetting the others, so there's a non-zero chance I'm gonna wander right by some of these Ethernets and have to get them again. I'll jump over walls in follow mode. Yeah! Parkour with Grahatia. This was the adventure he wanted to come on. This city has an unexpectedly large abundance of smug Lalafell. I approve. You'll notice by what I assume was a text flag there that I did not come back after Pagos. It's on my to-do list, kinda. Essentially the students of Baldessian restoration quests. After we kill the Tilopera. Main hall? No, I was promised a nap room. Decorations. Okay. Concept art, map, extremely old Legend of Moggelmog from like the 1.0 lodestone. Nice, good to see you again. I think it might have been in the lore book too. Concept art for the Ragnarok. Pretty sure that's Eureka. What I'm sure is not concept art, but a landscape portrait of some kind of Mordona, I believe, maybe. Artist's interpretation of Ozzy Slaw. Oh man! The original, this is what, alright, so in Mordona, you used to be able to go into a crystal cave and you would see this. And that little key shape thing on it was removed to add the symbol of Thalyak at the end of 1.0 and we went on our pilgrimage. So that key thing is old school. That's like deep 1.0. They removed that before they even retconned it into the Crypta Zonde, which was Zondes at the time with an S. So that's interesting to see here. Of all the things so far, I'm most excited about like deep 1.0 things. Like, aside from, I guess, that Hydaelyn still sings, because we've been asking that for a couple weeks. Okay. This I don't recognize. And I like that my gut is saying it might be because I did so little of Eureka, but we'll see. Nice. Increasingly filled out map of the 50% of our world that we're allowed to visit. Matsuno-san's little corner down here. Old star charts. The original map. The deep original map. It doesn't even have the additions from 2.0 era on it. Diadem. The Lady of the Vortex art, the original one, again 1.0 lodestone from the release of the Primal. Awesome. Awesome way to reuse old stuff. Well, this was an exciting room for a loremonger. Really good art of the Ragnarok, though. Big fan. This better be a room I can come back to anytime I want. Can you imagine if I, like, finished this quest, walked out into the hall, and then it just shut behind me?
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
By what?
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
No, it's not fine. He has a tendency of not filling in the gaps with important details. Ass details.
Let's get down to business then, shall we?
Fine. Turns out he was somewhere important later. This is on you.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroid's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois.
So we actually have more advocates for intervention.
Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, The recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous.
They seem like they're already in motion against something else, but it also seems like that's like part of what we're here to discover. It seems like it's like a kind of a heavy-handed
Even
hint.
more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth.
Ah, my favorite trope.
Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nadana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Rads at Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
How's that all?
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Krar's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
Surprisingly cooperative. I thought his line was just going to be... Yes.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Wow, it was all one quest. I was even, like, doing a quest. Oh, and now there's 2. So, hitting the books in Charleon, or going to Thavnair. Considering we just got here and we know there's going to be a lot of content in Thavnair, to prevent the feeling that we're bouncing back and forth, forward and back and forward and back, I'm going to probably do Charleon first. It just feels like it would be like kind of more preserving of the narrative flow. But the first thing I'm going to do is, it's been a little over an hour since we first started, so roughly every hour or so I like to just take a quick stretch break, wander around, make sure my leg doesn't fall asleep. It's already asleep. So we'll take about 5 minutes and we'll hit the books, I guess. So I encourage you to do the same. Take a stretch break, hydrate, stay hydrated today, and we will be back in just a moment. Okay, stretching accomplished, hydration accomplished. We are now being given our early expansion choice of where to go between two places that are going to give us kind of a little flavor for what's going on, get us towards our first dungeon when we reconvene probably. But we just got to Charlian, so I'm going to stick in Charlian. I'm going to figure out what the hell the Forum is thinking, hopefully. Oh, can I just pick that one up too if I want? Nah, later. Oh no. No, side quests. No, you can't do this to me. Ah. I always try so hard to clear the map before I go. The one good thing about doing this, though, is that I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant to tune in to a stream like this because they don't want to be spoiled themselves, which I encourage. You should do this stream. You should do the MSQ at your own pace, in your own way. And I think the fact that I tend to clear the map of side quests before moving on with the MSQ might actually give people a chance to pull ahead and be able to stick around rather than being worried that I'm gonna pull ahead of them in the story. Quest sync. A waiting woman sighs with impatience. A worthy diversion. Go find this woman's boyfriend. Why did I think this was a good idea? Oh, that was an easy search. By Thaliak's Quill! Here's a new one. So often from side quests you'll learn a little bit of flavor about the town. Though I would say learn is sometimes a stretch. Sometimes what we're doing is feeling immersed in the town. And I would say this is probably closer to that. I can't believe this guy's gonna make me run all the way back to his girlfriend to be rewarded. You made her do it too. Wow, it really doesn't look like Scholar changed very much at all, does it? It's okay. Some people like to say that means my job was neglected. I just, can't improve on perfection. What are you offering? Ah, hunts. This should be talk to 2 people and we're good, right? I understand why it would be this way, like mechanically, but lore-wise, I think it's pretty funny that Charleon and Radzatan share a hunt system. Three to go. Except there's other stuff down there. What is that stuff? Where are you? Leaves. Specimen that came from the moon. Level 83 required. Scholarly perspective. This appears to be one of the ones with a little previously unknown history, perhaps. Oh, we're gonna be using the spyglass and blow dart system for this one. Oh, why would I do this in front of people? I'm bad at these. Okay, one. This is Tholiak. Oh, I'm glad we came all the way to discover that. Oops. Tholiak was elected patron democratically. Okay, that's funny. Okay, 2. Tholiak bore a magicked pitcher from which poured forth the waters of knowledge. If you would like to know more about the mechanism by which it works, the stonemasons who built it left records of their struggle in the archives. A rather challenging construction by all accounts. I mean, it kind of looks like one of those infinite beer taps you'd find at a Spencer's Gift, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Whoa, Scholar's Feet. Six Umbral Era, catastrophic floods, 12 Archons rose up and saved the multitudes from a terrible fate. Yun Krep brought the ancestors here in his ark, and then forgot it near Alamigo. Wait, hold on. What did that say? I might have gone a little past that last line there. One last snippet of knowledge we can't overlook, huh? Can I look at my chat log real quick there, dude? Thank you. 1600 years ago. Okay, that's much more accurate than what I thought I read. Hey, Ironheart! I know your great grandpappy. You have a sightseeing log for me? Yeah! Endwalker entries have been added to the sightseeing log. Yay! One more side quest after this. I'm actually not feeling like terribly cynical about not learning a lot of new stuff about Charlayan right away, because I feel like it would feel disingenuous almost for it to be something we hear about all the time for so long and then get here and now's where all of this stuff shows up as if they wrote it 20 minutes ago. So this actually feels a little more natural to unroll it a little slower. Ooh, there's a chamber inside of the statue known as the Pathless Way. Oh, this is where you receive the title of Archon. Let me in. I have lots of questions about the tattoos. Why is one more intricate than the other? Why are they given in different colors? Let me in! Fine. It's gonna drive me nuts. Like, the tattoo that's in black with the eye on it just showed up out of the blue in 2.0, and I had no idea what to make of it. And my best guess, because it looked like a combination of the existing Archon logo and then like an eyeball, was like, oh, maybe it's for the Scions, because you've got like the combination of the Path of the 12 and the Circle of Knowing. So there's your Charlayan Archons and your eye for the Echo and seeing the past. But then you have like this very obvious question. If it's supposed to be a symbol for the Scions, why would their leader not be rocking that? And so, I mean, the revelation that these two symbols are actually the same thing and one is more intricate than the other solves that problem. But why are there two? Why is the informal one the one on all the Great Google Library stuff? Why are they in different colors? I want answers to all of that before this is over. Not the most exciting of revelations for Endwalker, but I demand them. I just happen to have an errand of the kind that adventurers love, or so I'm told. I'll be the judge of that, bro. You want me to deliver books? It does sound like something an adventurer would do. Ishgardian Astrology, a comprehensive theory. The White Yonder. Narrow road through the deep grass. We came here on urgent business, and I ended up a delivery boy. Again. You'd think the Warrior of Light would learn to avoid this. Oh. The real question is, did Azem do this too? Is that why it took Azem so long to come back to town when they, like, the whole Hydaelyn and Zodiark thing was going on? Also, I've stumbled upon a child who has lost a yellow carbuncle doll. In-depth dissertation on the merits and limitations of Ishgardian astrology as compiled by Shanaquinard de Durantaire. See, They said he'd never amount to anything. Look at that. Albright Manor is commissioning his books. How far he's come. Guess we'll get that out of the way. The mix of vibes here is actually really nice. I've got the visuals are almost old school Kurthus. We've got the Charlayan parts of Idleshire. This music is reminding me of 15 a bit. And then when we get down to the beach areas, it actually reminds me a bit of Near Seafront. This is gonna be one of those times where I'm missing the obvious. Where are you, lost Carby? Nah. So the kid put a little ether in a doll. Doll ran away. Ran out of juice. I pick it up. I bring it back to kid. Side quest for the leg coffer. Slowly collecting a full set of gear. And I'm behind on my gear. I never actually got the Lurker set. So, might be an upgrade. I don't know. We'll find out. Ah, this book is on the Azim step. So close. Oh, a book by Honoroi. Sights and sounds through the sea of clouds, an exquisitely accurate detail, the white yonder. Has everyone in Ishgard wrote a book since I left? Did I miss my opportunity for a book deal? Going around fighting wars still like a sucker. Tough whib. Okay, map clear. We've earned this. Beavis. Beavis wants to know if I've heard of the Wandering Minstrel. Okay, TLDR, they have assigned everyone to browse this place. All the books. All the books. And I am only permitted to access the first floor, so conveniently I'm left here to learn about very basic things about the city. Ooh. What is our... Sightseeing log 004. The Numenon. Bride of the Studium. Parent institution of the Gooball. Big ol' library, got it. The Story of Charleon. Read a book? Yes. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadine man by the name of Nunkrep. Nunkrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Neuenkrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Neuenkrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship safely atop Abelathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Ah, some of this is coming directly from the lore book. Saddened by the sight, Neuenkrep gathered to him his crew and grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent on returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island, settled upon that very spot. The settlement prospered and grew, and in time became the city of Charleon we live in to this day. So we actually, we're getting closer and closer to our goal of having a bunch of Elder Scrolls style books laying around, which is kind of nice. But if these are all from the lore book, let's just see if there's any new info in them. Colony established in 1311. "50 years later, it became an official colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charleon, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland." That has to be a lampshade for the fact that in 1.0, Charleon was supposed to be one of the 6 cities of the continent, and then suddenly in the middle of 1.0 it was like, oh yeah, no, that's an island up north somewhere. Charleon inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would refer to the colony as Emporium. We have a name. The voice of a growing city. More on the Ecclesia, the public forum where every citizen was allowed to speak. The old school one we were standing out with Raha earlier. Too many people in the city became increasingly impractical. New form of government in 201, led by 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers in a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum conceived. Okay. Oh no, this quest says we need to find 3 pieces of relevant data, but I have 1 piece of data left and 3 books to read, and what if I find the last piece of data and the other books disappear? Is it too much pressure? Which book do I choose? Oh god. It better be that one. That better be the last one. An Introduction to the Heavens. Yeah, that's probably unlikely to have anything to do with the forum. Let's read that one. Have you ever looked at the sun in the twinkling tapestry of night? Oh, don't talk about the sun right now. My anxiety's high enough. Oh wow, a book about the technologists of Alog. It was they who launched Dalamed and wow, this is a recently authored book, isn't it? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? Their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future. Okay. This book is Forever 20 Summers. And then we've got one over here called Stewards of Wisdom. Oh, that sounds foreign to me. I'm not touching that. Okay. We'll do 20 Summers first. Have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. Oh no! Oh no! Hold on. Oh god. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. The number itself is unimportant. It could be 19 or 23. Forever 23. And then maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. Is this a fucking Y'shtola joke, like buried in the... Oh, no, I can't take... We're moving on. Nope. It is too early in the morning for that. I lied. Tell me more about the forum. Yep, more about Archon Noonkrep, or a witness to the madness and savagery, blah, blah, blah. Renounced the ways of war, found Charleon, took it to their word, Steward's wisdom. Yeah. The familiar. Okay, so... Oh, all the other books stayed where they were. I stressed over nothing. Again, as is my wont. That book over in the corner, Forever 20 Summers. In the lore book, Y'shtola's biography says that she, like, the hands of time have stopped on the age of 23. And it's a joke, because... if you do the math on her age, she can't be anything other than roughly the same age as Thancred, roughly about 32. Like, she would have been 8 in 1.0. So the joke is that, like, fucketh about, findeth out when it comes to accusing her of being anything but 23. And that book seems suspiciously like a nudge at the people who read it literally and are like, yeah, she's forever biologically 23. She's immortal. And that might be one of the deepest buried shitposts this game has to offer. I'm gonna have to look at that in the other languages and think about it a little deeper, but like my gut says that might be like the dev team ribbing people a bit. I should have taken a screenshot of it, huh? Oh well. No, so this is the part of the story where Graha finds the good book. Upon our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants about how things were. Is it the one that used to follow you around and then just like vanished off the face of the earth? Raha, born in Corvos. Coastal region off of Thavner. The Alagons founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought the subjugated tribes of the Makote to serve as laborers. Uh-oh. Fourth calamity brought to an end the Empire's reign. Fifth calamity froze the seas. Many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. Wow. Okay, so we're moving Makote history to Corvos instead of Mericidia. But also Mericidia. My ancestors chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of Alagon technology from being misused. Okay, so there's Alagon remnants on Corvos, which is also under Garlean rule for 50 years. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Awesome. House Darnus was already thought to be descended from Alagons and studied their technology. And that was kind of one of the first excuses we had for associating Darnus with Dalamud in 1.0. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Alagon civilization. Oh, I could have just kept reading, huh? Adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charleans than you might think. Charleans than you might think. Equal opportunity to become Archons. Why Raha loves the country so much. Oh, nice segue back into what the quest is about. Figuring out what the forum's doing. Did we? No. Not yet. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days has come from an unexpected source. Ooh, foreshadowing, huh? After all that searching, they've decided to come to me because I've seen more of the final days than any of the rest of them, thanks to the Amarat dungeon. What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days grew nigh? Destabilization of creation magics. Wonder what happens if you give him the wrong answer. Oh, Alpha No probably contradicts you. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. It seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by the ominous noise, and it eventually resounded across the star. Review of the history of Zodiark and how he was summoned to set things right. Let's see if there's any kind of weasel words and how we're supposed to interpret this. Lives sprouted anew. And it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark. This trade would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, if not in her followers, not manifested their opposition in the form of Heidelin. Is forcing people to summon primal some kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Yes, that's what I believe. Why are they doing it? That's an interesting question. My current theory right now is just like, if Zodiark existed to solve the final days, then bringing back the final days would re-empower Zodiark, which seems to be part of the goal here. Or are they simply meaning to use the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? Burn it all to the ground. Let Zodiark build a kingdom in his image. That's the only thing my gut keeps saying over and over and over is the real plan. And when it comes to predicting things in the future, my gut tends to be hit and miss. I get caught up on precedent, and writers don't. They want to surprise you. Let us return attention to the forum again. Yeah. Yashtola's last. Obviously, she has the most stamina, being immortal. There we go. If you recall, Oriange learned of the source's reflections from the Garun oracles. For its potential to cause a panic and confusion, the tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. Potential to cause panic is not a good reason to deem something apocrypha. That's unbecoming of people of knowledge. Reminder that Fortunal told us that the Forum would know if the final days were upon us, and so he doesn't believe the Telophoroi are a threat. Which means, of course, they know something we don't. You labor for what feels like an age as Yeshtola's research assistant. Hello? Let me in? What do you have to say? I did find one paper focused on the world before the advent of the first Umbro Calamity, but it reads more like a work of fanciful fiction. Interesting, tell me more. New quest, coffee break with Alize. Ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city. Oh, it's another like be followed by an NPC and do stuff mechanic. So far, the mood of the city is the Leveilleur twins have been disowned, and this is what we should remind them about when they go snooping around town. Oh geez, I have to be a waiter so that I can eavesdrop on conversations without them recognizing Alize and going on a rant about how she's been disowned. Tea set for Chetty group. Omelette for Highlander. Lobster for cat. Are you the Chetty group? Or the cat? Highlander woman's the omelet. Lobster for the cat. Okay, so Charleon has a profession called Gleaners, whose job is to go around the world and pick up all the interesting things nobody noticed exist and bring them back to Charleon where they don't exist. Do we ever tire of sitting around with Alize cutscenes? Starbucks!
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Got our first clue that might be heading in Labyrinthos' direction.
The island. Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Actually unexpected a bit to a degree. Like, Labyrinthos seemed almost like it wasn't entirely common knowledge that everybody knew what was going on and everybody knew it was down there. I remember for the first couple of weeks we actually thought it was kind of like their doomsday bunker. But apparently it's just a thing everybody knows about, and it's being used in a different way than usual. Okay, we have picked up a new quest, and we are hitting the 2.5 hour mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a break here and come back in a little bit, because I do not want to end up with a... I'm going to be moving all of these over to YouTube, and I don't want to end up with like a whole bunch of 5-hour videos. So I'm going to try to take a break every 2.5, 3 hours maybe, and try to cut them up that way. So as you can tell, like, my executive function is declining a little bit as I read more and more and more. So it's a good time for a break anyway, especially after all the time we wasted trying to get past the lobby server error beast. So I will be back in a little bit. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for tuning in real time. I actually didn't expect to have anybody tuning in real time. But I guess I do go slow enough that people can pull ahead and not feel like I'm going to spoil anything. So I hope you will continue to tune in and follow. If you join the Discord server, and I know who you are, and I know who you are in the chat, I can give you VIP status, which will take you out of the emote lurker bin that I've got going here to kind of prevent people from shouting spoilers at me. I would love to chat with more people. I just don't want to have spoilers shouted at me. So feel free to drop by and let me know who you are so I can tag you. All right. And I'm going to cut it here and I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks so much again. And I will see you then.